We just watched season 2, episode 16 of Gilmore Girls. And hi, I'm Chemda.
I'm Carrie. We're Gilmore Friends. It's my first time watching it. It's Chemda's millionth, billionth time. And what was the title of this episode? I don't know the titles beforehand, and I learned them for the first time.
Can I tell you, even though this is my billionth time watching this is my first time paying attention to the titles. So it's kind of my first time knowing about the titles too, which is very, very strange. I just never, it never occurred to me to check on it. So this one's called There's the Rub.
There's the Rub. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I named it Just Take the Robe.
Okay. Now, before I tell you my 2 alternative titles, I just want to say, did you know that there's about 50% of the people listening to this are not subscribed?
I did not know that. 50%?
Hello, non-subscribers. Excuse me.
Why aren't they just whacking the subscribe button? They should just do that. It's fun.
Yeah, so there's a little light reminder. Click on that button. It's a free way to support the show. Appreciate it. Okay, so my alternative titles to this was Vicious Trollop, because
nice. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay.
And Leave Me Alone.
Okay.
There was a vibe, like, people kept trying to hang out with Rory. She was like, no, leave me alone.
Right. There were a couple of people who didn't get left alone when they wanted to be in this episode.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
And you know what's great about a good, nice title that's very fitting? Needing to explain it. So Vicious Trollop wins on my side.
Vicious Trollop is great.
Yeah. Take the Robe. Ugh, I love robes. We'll get to it. Okay. So before we watch every episode, Carrie gives us a synopsis of the last one, which is so helpful because even though I know all the episodes, it actually helps to hear it a little bit. So you clued me in and you said the sledgehammer was the final scene in the last one.
Yes.
And I love this new exciting way to watch it. She predicts it as soon as it starts. So you thought there would be no mention of the sledgehammer thing.
Yes.
I was like, surprised
in Gilmore Girls, the way it's been going, you'll mention something super heavy at the end of one episode, and the next episode picks up as if that thing never happened.
Right. Or it'll pick it up 3 episodes later.
Right. Like we're gonna tune in one day and Suki's gonna be married. Because that happened like 4 episodes ago, and we're like, whatever happened with that proposal? Like, we haven't seen Suki in like 9 episodes, whatever.
Exactly. So I think I was surprised too when I saw that there was any kind of construction, any kind of follow through, especially right away.
Yes.
So, but I also think it's so freaking ridiculous. Close your shop for a week. Obviously.
Yes. Don't get the lawsuit of asbestos falling in people's food, on people's eyes, in their drinks. There's cement falling on people's head. I know this was done for comedic effect, but holy crap. You're a walk-in lawsuit, Luke. Just close down the shop.
And that's the thing. This was completely 100% just for us.
Yes.
There is no world where people are like covering their cups, from things falling. That's not happening.
Right.
And like, I totally buy it. I really love this scene. I love the dialogue between Luke and the construction guy.
Oh, yeah.
I love it because he's just like, fine, 1 more week and that's it. And the construction guy is like, an ultimatum for me. Like, no, if we have to move a pipe, we're moving a pipe. Why does everyone think that they can tell me like, I'm fine, this is the last thing? It's not. I'm construction guy.
Yeah. And he's like, I always joke about moving pipes. He's like, you're joking. And he's like, yeah, I always joke about moving pipes. It's my best bit or something like that.
He's one of my favorite, like that is one of my favorite scenes. Cause also, and I normally don't like these kinds of physical humor where Rory's sitting there very straight faced. She tells Lorelai to move in and then the ceiling falls down around them. For some reason, I love that scene where normally I'd be like, well, so cute. All right. Can we have substance in this episode, please?
Yeah. Well, we're establishing that, like, it really did happen. Like, Luke really did buy the place next door. The sledgehammer was not for naught. And, like, they're really constructing it or, like, expanding I guess they're expanding the downstairs and getting the upstairs included, right? So it's going to be, like, one giant...
because because I'm forgetting the construction guy's name. I think it's Louis, but I'm not sure. But he said Luke goes, "What are you doing?" Something like that. And he goes, "We're expanding your upstairs. What do you think we're doing?" So I think they're just expanding the upstairs.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be a disruption to your cafe business for a minute, Luke. I don't know what to tell you. Close down. This is hilarious.
Yeah, Lorelai goes, "If I sit here one more second, I might be outside." I like lines like that. I think in this one, there's a lot of like little memorable things, including Vicious Trollop. Like you say Vicious Trollop to anyone who has ever seen Gilmore Girls, and they're like,
nice.
So, okay, here's also where the invite happens. How did you feel about the spa invite?
Yeah, it was a little bait and switch. She's like, "I don't like spas. I won this in a raffle, the Birch Grove Spa gift certificate." And I love on TV where she's like, "When is it?" And she's like, "This very weekend." And she doesn't have any plans, nothing to do. No, she had not made a single weekend plan, which I find insane.
And not just that, when you win in an auction, it's like you win a spa trip on this weekend. Like,
yeah, no, you book it yourself. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Whatever restrictions or blackout dates, right. But you make the call about when you can go. And finally, Lorelai is like, "Yeah, that sounds good. I'll take it. I love spas." And then Emily's like, "Great, I'll go with you." And we assume like two at the spa, like you'd take Rory, like if we're going to do a mother-daughter trip to the spa and like Emily said she doesn't like spas, it would be Lorelai.
Now, do you think that Lorelai actually convinced Emily that this is a good idea, or do you think Emily knew that Lorelai would make it sound good and that would be her in to invite herself?
Yes, I think Emily always knew she was going.
Okay, so
and she also knew if she had said, "Do you want to go with me to the spa?" Lorelai would have said no. So she had to do it. If Emily wanted to go to the spa with Lorelai, the only way to get them there together was to manipulate her in this exact way. I don't think Lorelai actually convinced her. That's ridiculous.
Which makes Emily is so masterful at manipulation.
She's masterful at it. But also, this is Friday night. And she's like, "No, this is Thursday. This call happens on Thursday.
Thursday morning.
Morning. And then she's like, "I'll pick you up tomorrow."
Yeah. And
then they go to the
tomorrow
spa.
Morning.
Tomorrow morning. So they go to the spa on a Friday morning. And then Rory says they're only there one night. So the spa trip was from Friday to Saturday?
I guess it was.
So weird.
Yeah.
And she said it's a weekend. That's not a weekend. That's a Friday night.
You're right.
If it's 2 nights, I don't know. It's just the whole timing of the thing. So they're skipping Friday night dinner, first of all. But that's fine because they're with each other. But like, what's Richard doing Friday night? He's probably traveling.
Probably dying of starvation.
Oh, he doesn't have a job anymore.
Lost.
Where's he traveling?
My goodness. Who's going to tell the cook to make him something? Everything's going to be chaos. This poor man. I bet he's going to sit in his study in the darkness again because how can you manage that?
You can't. He's just going to go to the golf club to eat.
Yeah.
Because he can get himself there and then
That's
have food
probably best. That's probably best.
Yep.
Yeah, so they end up like not even sleeping there, which, I never put that together because to me, like you're packing, you go to a spa thing, like you said, it's the weekend, but listen, any spa is good, right?
Any spa is, a bad spa is a good spa. I've been to some bad spas, but like a spa is a spa. So like make the most of it.
And Emily's spa is going to be a spa.
Yeah, the one that she won in the thing. It's going to be great. Birch Grove. So they're getting ready so Rory is packing her mother. Did you notice the shirt Lorelai was wearing?
Yes, I did.
It says yoga kills,
mm-hmm.
which I like because I just took my first yoga class on a couple days ago.
So first of all, how did it go?
It was fine. I lived. Look at me living. I lived
Were they gentle on because we both talked about like when you first try yoga, if you don't get the right class, they'll do things like and bend over and now flow. And the word flow triggers a series of poses from everybody but you.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I guess I don't know how to yoga. I thought there'd be more words or demonstrations. So, but there are like, first, second classes where people take that into account, please.
Nope. This was okay, everybody, and plumage. And then that triggered a 9-step. I don't know, the word was not plumage, but it was some earthy word. And then everyone does this sequence of things that everyone knew ahead of time but me. It had first day of school feeling where I didn't know anyone. And like,
you know what I think the trick is? And I really believe that this is the trick, because once I knew this, I could go to more yoga classes. If you know the sun salutation, and you can learn it, it takes like a minute. If you know the sun salutation, then you probably can figure out everything else in the class when they say flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this class was, and I think this is all yoga classes, and maybe this is why I don't like yoga, but like a yoga class is 90 to 93% downward dog.
Yes, I love downward dog.
So you like walk in and you're like, the only pose I know in the whole world is downward dog. And you're like 85% there.
That's true.
And the rest is like plank, downward dog.
Yeah.
Downward dog and cat position, then cow, downward dog, child pose, downward. Like downward dog is the switch between any other two positions.
Yeah, it's a lot of animals. It's cat, cow.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I like animals, but like, like I want to teach a yoga class without any downward dog and see what happens. You can't.
No, impossible.
I'm going to do it.
You should start a new yoga thing. No dog.
No dogs. Cat pose only. Boom.
That's probably what yoga is backwards.
All right. Anyway, so she's wearing a shirt that I identified with, which is Yoga Kills.
So I have this for during the trivia, but I looked up the Yoga Kills thing, and do you remember? It has to do with her taking the yoga class. Remember, I think it's the 4th episode of season 1, Rory's birthday parties, whichever one that was. Emily was over. She went up to Lorelai's room. She saw that Lorelai had a picture of herself on the dresser, and her leg was broken. Lorelai said her leg was broken from a yoga class where she fell over and broke her leg. So there's a lot of speculation saying that she has a shirt, Yoga Kills, because of that reference.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
And I'm glad. Could all be making it up because that's
there
fun.
might be a band called Yoga Kills, and this was their band shirt. I don't know. Right. There might be a restaurant called Yoga Kills, and this was their restaurant.
Is now.
This is merch. I mean, we got to make this merch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But then we get a beeping outside. And as we know, Emily does not like beeping the horn.
Yeah, she honked the horn.
Well, no, she didn't personally honk the horn. She had the limo driver honk the horn.
Oh.
So she says to the limo driver, honk the horn for my daughter to summon her. Emily is cheerful and excited. And she's like, get in the thing. I think it's a very fun idea to go to a spa in a limo.
Actually, it was part of your predictions on a live episode, on a live YouTube stream that we did. You said, and my head was falling out of my eyeballs were falling out of my head, because you were specifically saying that all Lorelai and Emily need to do is go to a spa together, have a little girls' weekend, and they will be fine. And I was like, did she just say, did anyone hear that?
I said it would open the door for them to talk, but I didn't mean that Lorelai got manipulated into going and they didn't like sit in the room and drink a bottle of gin. Like Lorelai got manipulated into going. And it was only for one night, and they didn't go into it with open mind. Like Lorelai went into it trying to plan her way out of spending any actual time with her mother.
But you don't think that made sense?
It did, from Lorelai's perspective. That's why I'm saying, like, my plan for them to go away for the weekend to bond did not work because she got tricked into going. You know?
Yeah. I just think, like, in a spa, no one should take it badly that somebody wants to be in quiet, not talk to you, not anything. Even couples massages. I don't like chatting. I've had massages. I think they're the greatest thing ever. I don't want to talk to the masseuse.
Oh
because
yeah,
it makes me tense to have
no,
to
that's
think
the
of
part of my brain I don't
conversation.
want to use right now. I don't want to use the
Right.
chit chat part of my brain. I also don't want to use the like talk to my boyfriend part of my brain.
Right.
I want to use the like relax and breathe part of my brain and like try to unplug. I've done couples massages with a romantic partner and I've done couples massages with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And both times, I mean, I don't speak to my couple,
Yeah.
to the other person during the
What is there
massage.
to say?
Except if you say something like, "Oh, I just got the hot rocks. Did you get hot rocks?" Something like that. But
Not even
like,
that. Frankly, like, if I'm full disclosure, no, don't.
don't talk to me. Yeah,
I'll
I'm not
I'll
using
I'll
that part of my
fill
brain.
me in later.
We'll
But
talk
yeah.
after. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also, but okay, so you said Emily was so excited. So there's a large group of people who were like, Lorelai is such a jerk in this episode. Emily is trying. She got taken to a spa for the love of God. Like, why can't she be appreciative? There's no gratitude. There's no nothing. But didn't Emily grate your nerves and you weren't even in the spa? Like, I can't imagine relaxing and someone's in your ear saying, I can't believe this woman took a coffee break when you're trying to relax. That
Yeah.
is not, I can't
I
believe there's
was
even a
with
group of
Lorelai
people.
that,
Yeah.
okay, so I was with Lorelai when she was horrified that there was no coffee at this place. Like I might have left, but,
She
um,
goes, and you think that's safe?
and you think that's safe? Yes, that was great. Um, Emily goes on and on about cucumber and the what. Like Emily was being super annoying in this episode too, but I think like I had the kind of relationship with my mother where I could be like, stop talking now.
Mm.
Like I need quiet for a few, like, why don't we just do like reading time now or something, you know? Um, because Emily was like in a manic episode. She was like on cocaine and like would not stop talking.
The thing is part of me also, I'm cringing from both sides. I'm like, oh my God, Lorelai can't be grateful for this because this is not what she was manipulated, and now this is not exactly the thing that she was being sold on. Like all of that is happening. But then I also feel like I've been Emily, maybe not at the spa, maybe, but I've been Emily where I can hear myself going on and on about every single thing that's happening in my head. And what do you think about this? And then, I was thinking about, oh, it's actually mug. Did you get twigs? I got twigs, like things like that. I'm like, ah, I think that's me sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's like, I could see why someone would find that very annoying.
But would that person who found it annoying also be able to say, hush now?
I don't, okay, so I'm mostly dated men, almost exclusively. And I'm going to say no to the men that I have dated. Not really. I feel they fear saying hush now, where,
Mm.
where I think I would, but I don't know. What you think that, what do you think? I don't know.
I don't think I say the words hush now, but
Of
I have
course.
gently told someone I would like quiet for a moment.
Yeah.
I make it about me, not about them talking. So I don't say your voice needs to stop now. I say something like my brain needs quiet now.
And I know, I think I've said that too, but if I may binary you for just a second, do you think that the men in your life have been able to say things like that, specifically romantic partners?
Say that to me.
Yes, because I feel that men have this fear of, saying like
Assertive
your
women.
voice is annoying. No, it's saying like your voice is annoying. How do I say this? You're annoying right now. I need quiet. I don't think they know how to
But they
confront
don't
in
say it
that.
like that. They would just get up and go hide in the bathroom.
See, that's different.
You know what
See?
I mean? And I'm like,
Right?
oh, he just needed a minute, you know?
Yeah. So
And
they're not
like,
as verbal about it, I don't think.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah.
I think for the most part, I've had to catch myself and go, there may be quiet time and, people are being polite around me.
Right.
That could be. I have to be a little more self-aware because he's not going to be as confronting as maybe
Right.
would
But like,
be
also,
helpful
I
right
know that
now.
in my partnership, I have a greater need for quiet than he does. You know,
Mm.
like, I don't need, I just need more quiet time, just in general, just like as a thing, because I've
Me
lived
too.
alone. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm introverted. I'm on stage. When I'm alone, I want to be quiet, or have like a podcast on or something that's like entertaining me passively.
Yeah, I don't want to engage. It's the
Yes, I want
engagement.
background. I don't want engagement. That's exactly what it is. Engagement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you want to talk at me and it looks like I'm ignoring you, that's fine. But like, I'm not engaging right now.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I really want to be that way at a party where like party is happening around me and I'm just enjoying sitting in it, but I don't want to engage.
Right.
Sometimes I really just want that around me. But don't turn to like you guys just keep doing what you're doing. This is enjoyable to me to sit and watch. Sometimes. And sometimes I'm the loudest person in the room.
But if everyone at the party did that, that would be the weirdest party ever.
Yeah, but I'm weird and I've had quiet parties and I went to silent retreats and I
couldn't make it to your quiet party, but I really wanted to. I forget what I had to do that day. I was so mad. I was like, I want to go to a party where you just sit. All right, can we get to Chilton?
Yes.
We're in chemistry class, and Paris gets an A- and loses her mind. And
you actually see her lose her mind. Like you see her heart drop.
Yeah, it's great. And she leans over. There's this very funny like back and forth where she leans over with the Paris posse, as we're calling them now. And she's like, you need to help me study. And they're like, it's a Friday. We have dates. And they're going back and forth. The camera motion is very funny.
Again, not a scene that I would normally like. And I really love the way these folks execute all of this. Yeah, I look forward to this scene. They really this show got me 100%. I'm just like, why do I like this? Pass the popcorn.
So she finally walks back and sees. It's funny that Paris can't study by herself.
Yeah.
For someone who's so driven and so like absolutely single-mindedly driven.
And there's no one who is studying more than her. So she's like.
Yeah, she's the study master and she can't do it by herself. Weird.
Yeah.
But she demands Rory help her. Rory's like, no, I can't. I have plans tonight. And Paris is like, she's like, her compromise is like, if you like, I'll next week, something. She puts her off. She was like, I'll help you next week or something.
The most fun in this is Paris saying about her parents. Paris's parents decided to stay together because her father realized how much it's going to cost him to divorce the mom.
Yep.
She said, this is one of my favorite lines of this series. All I had to do was move a decimal point and none of this would have happened.
That's amazing. And that's in reference to the chemistry test, right?
No, that's in reference to she was doing the books with her dad.
Doing the math part of the divorce. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so Paris is shot down. So there's no Paris.
Yeah. But this sets up that Paris wants something that Rory has that Rory's not giving up for Paris, and that is Rory's ability to study. This is so weird. Paris is.
Yeah, she even says, like, how come this is of no interest to anyone? And I'm just like, no interest to the person that you've bullied from the start. You told her that she's never going to be anything here and that you will be bullying her for life.
Right.
How come that one doesn't care about you?
Right. Okay. Yeah, you have never said anything nice to Rory ever unless you need something from her. And Rory is too much of a pushover to put boundaries up. Although Rory did have boundaries about not telling her her PSAT scores, which I thought was lovely.
That's the thing. See, I think Rory does have boundaries. I think that the stuff that she allows Paris to come in with, like supposedly crossing the boundaries, is not crossing Rory's boundaries. Rory, when she has boundaries, she goes, no, I don't want you coming over. But I think she ends up liking I guess that is boundary crossing. Right? Oh.
By the way, are they both still in the puffs?
Yeah, right. Were they ever? They never rang the bell.
No, they never. No follow-up. Did they ever go back to that? Do we ever see those girls in Chilton again? Ever?
I'll drink my water now.
Where are the puffs?
Mm-hmm,
God damn it.
mm-hmm.
All right. So, but this sets up, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, we're obviously going to see Paris again. And like, I'm like, is Paris going to come, or is Rory going to sneak out to help? Not sneak out, but like, are they going to end up studying on this Friday night? Because Rory's
why else would it be
plan,
brought up?
as we find out when she's in town making out with Dean against
what a gross scene.
Against a tree.
But they're so, it looks directed, and that extra gives me ick. I already don't like watching the makeout scenes a lot of times because I just feel bad for the actors. But now it feels like they said, you put your hand there, you put your hand there, and they're doing this weird fake making out, but they actually have to put their faces together. Icky,
it was
icky,
pretty
cringy,
stiff.
cringy.
It was pretty stiff as far as making out goes.
Then the dialogue is like,
I have both been the maker outer and I have observed teenagers making out, not by choice, because that is a disgusting thing. But teenagers, we live in the city here and we can't make out in cars. So teenagers will make out on the subway.
Please, I've been that adult. Whatever, make out
in commuters.
But somehow in real life, it's better.
Yes, it does not look like Rory and Dean at this tree. This was a very stiff makeout. I don't know.
And their dialogue. Your lung capacity certainly has improved. Okay, I'm not saying wear lace and panties to this, but like that is what?
Hot. Yeah. These are obviously virgins talking to each other. And Dean's like, so your mom's out of town tonight. Can I come over?
Mm-hmm.
And Rory, who's such a dork, was like, no, not because like that's the rule, but because I rarely ever get the house to myself and I'm going to do laundry and separate it the way I want to, which is a very mid-40s thing to say. Like, I get so psyched when I have nothing to do for an evening and I can just like sort my clothing the way I want. But Rory's a horny teenager. Like, something's wrong with Rory.
No, so that's the thing. Like, I love her plans. And I have felt that way. But yes, I felt that way as an adult, not as a teenager. But so we're finding that teenagers are not dating right now. They're not really, there's less sex, there's less any of that stuff. So that makes me wonder, were they telling us that we're going to be hornballs because of our actual hormones? Because wouldn't that, or I don't know.
I'm a little I'm out of touch, whatever. But like, making out is supposed to be hot. Am I?
Yes.
Am I out of touch with the children?
But they're not interested. They're not interested like we were interested.
I know, but Rory and Dean should be. I don't know. Like, I
don't know.
Shouldn't Rory want to make out with Dean rather than do laundry?
Yes, but I also think that it's the same mind that always tells us, like, shouldn't you want to do something other than read a book on a Friday night? Shouldn't you? Like, I think that what they're saying is, hey, some people enjoy a nice, quiet home. Like, I am absolutely with those people. Like, I enjoy a nice, quiet home night, but Rory is 16. And she's making out. I think there are some 16-year-olds like that.
I just don't think I just don't relate to those 16-year-olds. And like, if you're making out against a tree as an activity, I don't even know where I'm going with. I'm going to get in trouble somehow. I feel gross even talking about teenagers.
No,
making
I know.
Out.
Like, speaking from let's say when we were teenagers, yes, of course I'd rather dry hump on a couch knowing my mother's not going to be home. Yes. But
the amount of time I spent making out, just kissing, like, as a teenager is like funny to me now. Like, we would do that for like hours. And like, if someone was like, is there a more private place we could do this than on the subway platform? I'd be like, yes, let's, like, wouldn't you rather be in an enclosed space?
Yes.
And like your mom's not home. And it's not saying you're going to do anything. You're not going to do anything that you weren't already doing against a tree in public.
Yes, but again, that's what's special about Rory. That there are these people who don't run on that.
But I think she should get her hormones checked.
Well, I think this is why he said, I'm confused, but I'm not mad. I'm a saint, but I'm not mad.
Right.
Because those boys were considered saints, the ones that are willing to not pursue the sexual thing constantly, to understand why you wouldn't want to make out in your house. Like, so,
yeah.
But awkward. It sounds weird. It sounds weird,
but Dean's a saint. And she's like, don't be mad. I'll spend all day tomorrow. Tomorrow is now Saturday. I will spend all day Saturday with you. So This is Friday night. We go back to the spa. Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Emily and Lorelai know that they're only there for one night.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Why is Lorelai unpacking a suitcase into drawers?
I don't know. I often thought about I often thought about this, but I have thought about it for real because I used to never unpack. No matter how long I'm staying, I don't care because to me, the suitcase was the drawer. However, I kind of had a little bit admiration for people who did unpack because it must feel good and it comes with a feeling. It comes with a nice, it comes with a very comfortable feeling, right? I just never did it, but I thought I was being lazy and immature.
To not unpack.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was just like a yucky, I don't know. It wasn't the most demure.
For an overnight stay, I'm not unpacking. A single night, I'm not unpacking. That's not efficient use of my time.
I'm so happy to hear that from you because you are so organized that the fact that you don't care about that, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not.
I mean, it's the outfit you're wearing, what you're wearing to bed, and then the outfit the next day. Like, what are you putting in drawers?
Yeah, and I'll forego pajamas if I can pack lighter.
Yeah. I will wear the suit of skin that I have skinned off the front desk person instead of pajamas to save space. I just kill them and skin them and wear their skin to bed, and then I don't have to pack pajamas.
I just race myself for how much less can I pack today than the last trip.
Yep.
Just love it.
But I didn't used to unpack. My current boyfriend unpacks when he gets to a hotel room. And I was like, why are you unpacking? It's only 2 nights. And he's like, right, 2 nights. And I'm like, great, 2 nights. So I have started to unpack a little more when it's at least 2 nights. I need 2 nights to even think about putting things in drawers.
That's a good number. Yeah.
And then even then it depends on what else I'm doing. And sometimes you travel and you need 2 outfits for a day and you have, so then I will unpack.
The weather changes.
You got an event that you need, special
I have to bring my Crocs.
Right. You got to bring your fancy hike. Crocs, your regular Crocs, your sport Crocs, your excavating Crocs. Yeah.
My indoor Crocs.
Your indoor Crocs, your rooftop Crocs. And if I have to bring a dress somewhere, I will hang that dress up in the closet almost immediately so it doesn't get wrinkly.
Oh.
If I have worn a jacket, the jacket goes up in the closet. Things like that, crap like that. But Lorelai unpacking for a single night was funny to me. I was like, girl. But that was back when I thought it was 2 nights. I thought they were coming home Sunday.
Yeah, I think I always thought they had spent the night and it was the second night that they were coming home. But no, the math checks out. Your math checks out.
Very weird spa weekend. It's not a spa weekend. It's more, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it really is also, they have, she said back facial for one of them. They have things going on all day.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Yeah. I wrote Emily as being annoying. Yeah. And you wrote no quiet in your notes. But Emily is compensating for 15 years of very little speaking to Lorelai in this one afternoon of speaking to her nonstop.
Yeah, and she's doing that thing where I guess people do that with romantic partners. They try to push the relationship further by saying how great everything is. Oh, this cucumber water is fantastic. I'm already feeling relaxed. This is a fantastic robe. This is the best day of my life. Aren't we having a great time? This is a great time. Are you having a great time? Are your feet sweating? My feet were sweating. My masseuse was like this, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I apologize to those who just had to go through me saying it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a
God.
lot. It's rough. It's rough.
So are we on Lorelai's side?
For this part, yes. This part.
I'm on it for all of it.
Yeah.
There.
Also, the spas put fluffy, delicious, snuggly bathrobes in the rooms, hoping you will take it. They have your credit card. Everyone understands this. If you fall in love with the robe, put it in your suitcase and we bill you for it. So they have little notes on the robes that say that.
That's what Emily said.
Yes, they're like, if you like this robe, take it with you. It's only $80 or like whatever.
I mean, if I was Emily, who just likes buying things, and I'm so in love with this robe, it's mine. And she even said, I'll get one for Rory, I'll get one for you. But yes.
Yes, and they have them in the gift shop. So like if you fall in love with the robe in your room, but you want a fresh one that has never been worn by a stranger, they have those in the gift shop too.
The robe in your room is just an ad for the robe you're going to buy.
Yes, and if you need the one that you wore in the room, you take that one too. They are ready for this. You are not the first person to quote unquote steal a robe from a spa. Are you crazy? They are all over that. The robe is an advertisement for you to steal or buy the robe. Relax.
And that's the thing. Emily's yelling, go put on your robe. This isn't for me. It's for you. I'm already relaxed. Oh my God, Emily.
Yeah, forcing someone to wear a robe when they don't want to. Yeah.
But while she's changing into the robe, she goes, what are you doing? I'm getting changed into the robe. Compliment your masseur's hands, Lorelai. Oh my God.
And then you didn't wear the slippers.
Oh my God.
I would have pushed back. I would have been like, well, now I'm not gonna. Now I'm wearing my spa Crocs.
Ooh, that's nice.
I don't wear Crocs. For the record, you guys, I don't wear Crocs. I won't.
I do wear Crocs, but all of the Crocs that we mentioned are all one Croc.
I know. I know. I am making fun of you directly when I mention Crocs at all. But there are more of you than there are of me. More people love Crocs than don't. So don't come at me. We already
talked about this. We talked about this. The only reason why you don't have a pair of Crocs is because you never tried it on.
That's right.
And we can all tell that you've never tried it on because as soon as you try it on, you have a pair of Crocs. It's this robe.
I can't risk it. I can't risk trying them. What if I try them and like them? Then I'm going to have Crocs.
There's
and then who am I? Then who am I?
Try them on. It's over.
I know. It's over. So I can't risk it. There can't be a Carrie who likes Crocs. Nobody will know who I am. Anyway, back at the spa, they are getting couples massages. They are covered in the clay mask, which is always very funny to me. It's very cinematic. You can tell someone on TV or in the movies is at a spa when they have a clay mask. I'm surprised they didn't put cucumbers on their eyes. That's another way we illustrate spa on the screen. But she's got hands and gloves in some sort of massaging heating device.
That's the thing. So the couples massage, I don't think it's bad to get a couples massage with somebody you're not romantic or sexually involved in. It's just that I do think it's bad to interrupt people after the treatment when you're supposed to just let things seep in or whatever. I think your mind is also doing what the face mask is doing to your body, what the gloves are doing to your, I think it's part of it. So for Emily to infiltrate, oh my God.
No, that's bad spa etiquette. That's bad partner, mother, daughter, best friend, codependent, best friend. Like it's bad form. to interrupt somebody in there, like, sit here for 20 minutes and let that soak in. Somebody else comes in the room to chat. No, that's bad etiquette.
And not just that. So she, Lorelai makes Emily uncomfortable because she talks about how usually couples just have sex after. And yes, it's inappropriate, but A, shut up. And B, she's the one who told the messieurs to go outside. And then she sends Lorelai
back to get
go
them
get
back.
them.
Terrible.
Because it becomes a spa day for only Emily. This is how you relax, my queen.
Right. Go get the boys. And she calls them the boys, which I don't like. And like,
oh, earlier she snapped at her.
I know,
maid.
at the waitstaff, which is terrible. Or her house staff, terrible. So Emily is really gross this episode. She is being super annoying and very needy and like not.
And meanwhile, all of that, and she's telling Lorelai that she's acting like a petulant child, and Lorelai apologizes to her. So
yeah, it's weird. It's very weird.
And she even starts with the guilt trip. She goes, well, I saw a supply closet. Maybe they can move me into there so we don't have a couples massage.
No, you can stay in the room. You just have to shut up. And don't tell me how to enjoy my massage. It's like, it's so weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it turns out you were right. And Paris does come over too.
Yes, when the doorbell rang, you were like, who is it? And I was like, Dean. No, Jess. No, Dean. No, Jess. It's Jess. And it was Paris. And I was like, oh, right. I freaking forgot about Paris.
Yeah. I didn't guess Paris either. I always forget the sequence of things. I'm like, oh, that's right. Paris. They set us up for Paris earlier. But before Paris comes in, can I talk about Rory's Indian order? Because she nailed it. 2 orders of garlic naan, delish.
Okay.
Which just means bread. 3 samosas. The samosa, if one has never had it, one should seek it out and throw it in their face. It is a delightful potato stuffed fried thing.
Yes. And if you're afraid of Indian food, this is your gateway Indian food.
Yes. And then she ordered chicken vindaloo, which to me was the twist on what I thought Rory would order, because vindaloo means spicy and it's going to be very, very spicy. I thought she would get the chicken tikka masala. And like Carrie said, if you're new to Indian food, chicken tikka masala. Start with Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your intro to Indian food. You can always get weirder. Mm-hmm. It's like the intro to like Japanese food is like the California roll. It's like basically not even Japanese food. So like, yeah, tikka masala is basically chicken with candy. It's like, it's
so good.
It's delicious. So no.
And she got extra green sauce and no salad. First of all, that green sauce is from heaven. But if you don't like cilantro, it's going to taste like sand.
Yeah, it's bad. Or it's really good. But green sauce is different Indian place to Indian place. So I don't know what it's like. It varies. You can have very, very spicy green sauce and not always. So she knows her place.
Always good though. Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah, that was a good order.
Yeah. So Paris just shows up.
Oh, yeah, right.
If somebody told me that they have plans, I think that I would guess they're not at home. She took such a chance.
I know. She drove a half an hour.
Yeah.
She drove a half an hour to ring a bell and Rory answered. Rory could have just not answered.
Yeah, but she thought it was the Indian food that she ordered.
I know, but
No, because she just ordered it. No, it couldn't have been.
Yeah, they need a peephole on this door too, by the way.
Yes.
They need better security in this house and they need a peephole because anyone can just walk up. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They need a series of mirrors or something where they can see who's outside before they open the door. This is basic.
Mm-hmm.
But she opens the door. She's like, who could that be? And just swings the door open. And it's like Michael Myers. But
Paris once again makes us feel so bad because she's like, oh, clearly you were rejecting me because this cannot be your plans. Because everyone is shaming Rory, including us, for what she finds to be a rockin' Friday night.
Yeah, she wants to do laundry and read a book and go to bed.
Right.
It's not bad. She's got her whole lifetime to have ridiculous Friday nights. She just wants one night
We pay for retreats and spas.
I'm saying, this is Rory's spa night.
Yes.
This is her spa night. Yeah,
yes.
It's true. And we're ruining it. All of us.
But it also makes me feel bad because Paris is like, oh, you're never alone. You're never left alone when your parents are going away without even a thought about you. Paris is alone so much. No, that doesn't mean that you get to act like that, Paris. But oh boy, are you a sad, sad individual.
Yeah.
So, but I like that Rory gives in by saying we'll do a quick review, a pop quiz, and then she's going home. Now, I understood pop quiz as a surprise.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. But this is just a quiz that Rory's going to make up for Paris on the spot. This is amazing. I mean, and this is like, takes me back to how I used to study. We'd be like, all right, just ask me random questions from chapter 3. Go, go, go. And we're like, what? And like trying to come up with mnemonic devices to remember things and like just studying with friends. But like, again, I feel like Paris should be a better solo studier.
I feel like Paris is also one of those people where she just has to hear it in class. She gets it. Once you get it, what are you studying really? I guess you're just memorizing a lot. I don't know.
So, yeah.
I think this is just, Paris is so sad that I just thought maybe she got an A- so that she can have a social life.
Right.
Help me study, that
was not how I did it, but sure. Go for it.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. She needs help studying, and this is her in.
Yeah. And I like this, again, one of my favorite lines. My hour doesn't start until you come back out here, right?
Yeah. I know.
Oh, Paris.
That's so bad.
Oh.
That's like in Breaking Bad when Walt has to pay that guy to play cards with him. Okay, never mind.
I don't remember.
No, it's fine. Forget it.
Good show.
Back at the spa, we're going to dinner, and now everything's friendly. She says, "You look really nice, Mom." And Emily
and she says, "Are you being sarcastic?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not good with each other. So this is the Vicious Trollop. Why do they call it Vicious Trollop? That nobody would call it that, and then sure enough, that's the name of the lipstick. And she's like, "Oh my god!"
Because Dirty Whore was taken.
Yep. And like this reminds me of my mom. My mom and I would compliment Mom's lipstick, and then she would hand me the tube. I mean, we weren't mean to each other like they are, but I taught my mom about the Burt's Bees tinted, and Mom then got that. She tried mine and then liked it, and then bought her own tube of it. And I was like, "Yeah, if you." Like, you can share lipstick with your mom. I thought that was sweet. I thought it kind of was sweet.
And that I think that's the consensus. I don't think anyone doesn't love this moment and doesn't understand that there's hope for them to be the thing that they probably want to be. We all want them to be. Here it is. Here we go. Vicious Trollop.
Yeah, this is the olive branch. This is the Vicious Trollop olive branch of we can get along. We don't have to talk about big things. We can just talk about lipstick for 2 seconds. Right. And now we have this one thing for 2 seconds is equal common ground.
Yeah. We'll always have color Vicious lips. Trollop.
Yep. Yeah. So I liked this. Then they read the menu. They decide they don't want to go to this restaurant and they want to go out to eat. Lorelai grabs her coat. And she's like, "We're going out to eat." And I'm like, how are they getting there? They arrived by limo.
Carrie was so
mad.
She's so upset. And she's also so concerned. She's like, well, how did they reach there? And I'm like, they're rich. Things happen when you're rich. Cars show up. Maybe that limo driver was just sitting out there the entire time.
Maybe they took a horse-drawn carriage.
She's Emily. She gets to the restaurant.
Okay.
I bet that they didn't even have to look for a restaurant. They just said, "Take me to the nearest steak."
Right. Yes.
You're rich.
Yeah. It's better. It's better up there. All right. So they end up at a restaurant.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, but not before Jess shows up with a box.
And once again, I was like, so the doorbell rings and I go, who do you think that is? And you thought, rightfully so, the Indian food, because we are waiting for Indian food. And food did show up, but it showed up in Jess's hands. And here's the thing. I don't want to, not for nothing, but the Indian food never showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the Indian food? Jess killed that guy on the way over. Jess killed that guy, ate all the Indian food, then got...
It was actually left at the doorstep, but he threw it to the wolves.
It was left at the doorstep a la pandemic, and Jess kicked it into the woods, got his box of food from Duke's.
From Duke's.
Luke's. Whoa. Wait, I did what Lorelai did. Called it Duke's to piss off Luke. I knew Duke sounded wrong. I was like, yeah. So he brought this giant box of food and then invites himself in, and one thing leads to another. And before you know it, Jess is taking off his coat.
May I ask you, did you find him to be smooth?
Jess?
Yes.
No,
but a high school smooth.
Maybe high school smooth, but also Rory is not good at boundary. Well, she likes him, right?
Yeah, so she wanted this. Yeah. This is not an unconsensual stay.
Right, and she also probably wanted a mental break from frickin' Paris, right? So, like, I could see her being excited to see Jess because it's just not Paris for 5 minutes, and that would be a lovely reprieve. So he comes in, and he takes off his coat, and he starts, and then, like, Paris is like, have you seen my... She walks in the room saying, have you seen my flashcards? She already lost her flashcard. She's been there an hour. She already lost.
She's kind of only been in the living room.
She's only been in the living room. She has her... So, like, in the time she's been in the living room just studying, she's already lost her flashcards.
Yeah, Paris.
Yeah. But anyway, we need her to say something upon entering the room, and that's what they came up with was, have you seen my flashcards, which is so great. Not like, can I have a glass of water or something? Like, no reason for her to... Anyway. And then she's like, oh, who's this? And then there's introduction. Jess meet Penn. I wrote down Paris and Jess.
I think that too. I loved, and a lot of people do, love the conversation around the kitchen table. They finally seem like kids who are hanging out. Granted, they're talking about, authors and things, but it was flowing. It was fun. It was and Paris and Jess were like fun arguing.
Yeah, they're spa arguing about their nerdery books.
Love
and like both
it.
of them are holding up their end of this like intellectual argument. And
over mucho mac and cheese. Oh my God.
I love it. I know.
What a party.
It did look like kids hanging out. I could relate to that. Yes.
It finally sounded like kids hanging out too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was how we hung out.
So fun.
Yeah. Just a ton of food and then arguing about something intellectual. Or not, but like.
Right. Or the dumbest things. Like, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. But it would be, like, what are you doing here? I'm here to study. What are you studying? Chemistry. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like the conversation would flow and end up to where we arrive at them fighting over books. It's great.
So great. So great.
But while they're eating this like fun meal at home, Mommy and Lorelai are at a 60-40 bar. Have you ever heard this expression before?
I heard the expression, but I only understood it after Lorelai explained it. I didn't know what a 60-40 bar was. It's so literal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you heard of 60-40 Club before?
No.
Oh, okay. I heard that term. But
I had never heard that term until just now.
Yeah.
But I don't pick up 60-year-old dudes in bars.
No, but
even when I was 40. I mean,
now there's sugar daddies and sugarbabies.com.
Yeah, but sugar daddies don't want a 40-year-old. They want like a 25-year-old.
But some do, because 40 is for 60 or I don't know, that a 20-year age difference. I guess there's more of an age difference now because we're living older.
By the way, I set you up and you totally failed to say you could pass for 25 and you missed it. Whoosh.
I sure did. Egg on my face.
No, Carrie, you could pass for 25 and get your 60-year-old sugar daddy.
What do you mean? You're not 25?
No. Way older, man. Way older. What?
What? Hold on, what?
But yeah, so a 60-40 bar, I don't know. I thought that was very entertaining. Oh, wait, we're not there yet.
Also, I think it's hilarious that and there are places like this is so America that there's not really restaurants in the area. There's bars that have dancing and steak, you know.
Mhm.
And I actually I don't like eating at a bar, but if you're that hungry and there's an hour wait, I don't care. But it doesn't feel right to eat dinner when your feet aren't touching the floor. Is
Yeah,
what
that was
Emily
very
said.
funny.
That was very cute.
Yeah.
But then she went into she really wants this weekend to work. I never realized how wonderful peanuts were. You know, just she's back into this is the great, let's have fun. It's all right that my feet are not touching the floor. I'm having the best peanuts ever.
I thought these peanuts were so good, which was a reference to just how starving she was.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, she's so starving that this is the most delicious peanut in the world. But yeah, she's being a little, chatty again. Whatever, but it was nice to see them sharing martinis.
Yeah, that was sweet. But then Lorelai noticed that somebody's looking at Emily.
Yeah.
And I know with my mom, it wouldn't make her feel comfortable. It would make her feel harassed. Especially, and I think she would feel exactly how Emily felt, especially because my husband is not here. I don't feel comfortable talking to somebody of the opposite sex.
Right. Not to mention that guy was with a woman.
He was?
Chad. Yes. When the camera first pans over to Chad, he's sitting at a table with a woman.
But could he have just been sitting with her like he was sitting with them?
Yep.
Like he's just talking to people?
Yes, absolutely.
I think you get to.
I mean, yeah.
Are you slut shaming?
I'm slut shaming Chad. Pull it together,
he's allowed.
Chad.
He's trying to find.
He's one of the 60s.
Date.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so.
Cool.
But anyway, so Lorelai thinking she's giving her mom a little ego boost or a little compliment is some dude is checking you out, and I hate being told that someone's checking me out because I get suddenly very self-conscious. I'm like, is he checking me out when I do this? What if I do this? Oh, please continue checking me out. I can't think straight. But
and I think that's exactly Emily's face because she's like, someone's looking at me, so I need to prop myself up almost. But then she's like, wait, not to look more attractive, just to be a person who's being looked at. What am I doing? I feel like she had all of that in her face.
Yeah, it was fine. But she's also still cooler than me. And eventually the guy comes over. But first, wait, do they get their food first? Right.
I think so. It's while they're eating, I think, that he comes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to tell me, but I think based on season 1, I think there are 21 episodes in this season, which means that it's almost time for our season 2 wrap show.
Yes.
What is our season 2 wrap show? For those people who've never heard of such a thing, what is it? What do we do? What's happening?
So we did this for season 1. It was so much fun. I had notes. I had Carrie's predictions. I had a whole Excel spreadsheet on all the times Lorelai was a bad mom. I broke down everything. It was fun. It was as fun as folding laundry and ordering Indian food.
I mean, it was up there. It was up there. I like that you, and I didn't realize you were doing this. See, season 2 is different because I kind of know you're doing it, but I didn't realize in season 1 you were actually tracking my predictions. And sometimes if I didn't have one, I would be like, I don't really know what's going to happen. Oh, aliens come down and take over everyone's body. And that was on the list. So I'd be like, Richard goes back to work and then aliens come down and take over, So anyway, that's all of the entire season. We do a wrap party on how the characters developed and what they did. And did I say wrap party? I meant show.
Yeah, I see this as a party.
It's a party.
And the way to join is the stream happens on YouTube. So go to Gilmore Friends podcast on YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed there because that'll give you the alert that we're going live. And you'll also be able to, watch along. You'll be able to comment. Some people comment. Some people just like to watch.
Yeah, some people put us on the back in the background while they're folding laundry. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, go find us on YouTube and you can join us for the season 2 wrap show live stream. I can't wait. And that's only a couple of episodes away.
You don't know how many. So.
I don't know how many. I think there's 21, right? Why is that a spoiler? Honestly, that's not a spoiler.
Well, we're gonna have to time it. There's 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is episode 6. So we got a few more to go, but we are closing out. I think at the end of episode 1, I was like, she's not marrying what's his face.
Right.
All right, but we got time. I think she ends up breaking up with Dean by the end of season 2, but that's
okay. We'll save that for predictions. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Dean,
okay.
Dean calls first. Now, I think this is very weird that Dean called first. Why did Dean call?
Maybe that's obviously that's for us, but I think because he is trying to still be a good guy is how I saw it. Like, I'm going to interrupt you. Here's a heads up. I promise that it'll only be for a little bit. I didn't want to startle you. I didn't want to, show up without announcing myself. So this is me announcing myself. And let's be real. He called when he was entering their property.
Right, down the block. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he lives close. They all live walking distance from each other.
They all live 2 seconds from each other. But this could have been solved with a peephole. Like on the door, if the doorbell knocks and she's like, who could that be? She could just look out the peephole and be like, oh, it is Dean, my boyfriend, who I know.
At all fairness, why is Jess leaving through the front door? If we're trying to get rid of Jess and hide him from Dean, I always wondered why he didn't.
I wondered that too, because Jess wants the confrontation.
Well, Jess, I know Jess did it, but Rory should know better.
Yeah.
She's the one trying to cover. I also think it's weird. And I know this is a little bit later, but I think it's weird the lie that decided to happen for Dean. So here's this is the Dean part where Dean sees Jess, and of course, he's heartbroken. Wouldn't you be heartbroken?
Oh yeah, it does not look good. It really doesn't look good.
It looks like
you said you were going to be alone all night, so I didn't push it. And now there's multiple people over.
Well, he only knew there was Jess over.
I know.
And it looked like she was trying to get rid of him. It looked like Dean interrupted them. It looked exactly like they were just making out.
It looked so bad. It looked so bad.
And I think Jess helped it. Of course, he wants it to look like that.
Yes.
I think
and
Dean is Dean's best behavior is to tower over Jess and look at him.
Yeah, but I'm amazed Dean didn't hit him. Dean was really restraining himself. It looked really bad. And he didn't really do anything except tower over him while being taunted by Jess. And
oof. You can't talk to people like that.
You can't talk to people like that, bro. No.
Mm-mm.
What are you?
You're calling the man stupid to his face.
Did he call him a mongrel or something? He was the Frankenstein stare. He had some sort of insult. And I think Rory finally is like, all right, get moving. And then Dean naturally is like, what the hell was he doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And then Rory's like, let me explain.
But at least he saw Paris. At least he was like, oh, Paris is here. I felt him sort of shifting, but Rory kept looking more and more like something just happened.
Yeah.
But she also did just lie and got caught in a lie. She said he just came over to drop this food off. Now, as Dean, if I walk into the room and you just lied to me, you lied to me in front of Jess, you lied to me and this girl knows, I'm the biggest idiot here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, Rory cannot actually speak. The diner and,
yeah, she gets all flustered and tongue-tied and she can't explain. And this happens again all the time in TV where someone's there's a simple explanation, but you like can't get it out, or like you say like the 3 words that incriminate you and not the like full story. And then Paris jumps in and she looks up and she's like, "It was my fault." Her skin looks great in this scene, by the way. She just looks so pretty and like flawless skin. And she's like, "It was my fault. I have a crush on Jess and I couldn't think of how to see him again. So blah, blah, blah." She makes up some ridiculous story. And Dean looks at Rory and goes, "Was this true?" And Rory goes, "Yeah." Like, what?
Now, here's the thing. That's perfectly reasonable. And I could see Paris saying, "Hey, I thought Jess was cute. Can you hook us up?" And I could see Rory putting this together. And it looked like they hit it off. And I am hoping there's something like something did happen, but it's still a lie. Like,
if that had been the truth, assume that was really true, what happened, Rory would have said that upon seeing Dean. The minute Jess was out of earshot, she would have been like, "Paris made me invite him over because she likes him." As he's walking in the door, like Jess is running down the street, she would have been like, the word Paris would have come out of her mouth, and she would have been like, "Paris likes him, and that's why he's here." And the Dean would have been like, "Oh."
But the fact also, she wouldn't have said, "I'm doing laundry." She would have said, "Oh, you should come over because I'm hooking Jess and Paris up. It'll look more like a hang if you're there."
Yes.
I don't need to lie to you.
Yes.
Like at all.
Exactly.
And Dean obviously knows he's still lying. And he does the thing that I think all of us do. We look the liar in the face and go, "Is that true?" As if us being sincere and looking the person in the face will have them go, "You know what? It's not." No, they're already lying. You don't ask the liar if it's the truth.
Especially teenagers.
It's a lie. I don't know. I didn't lie to my peers like that. What? For what?
I mean, it depends
on
what it was.
Now I gotta keep this stupid lie. Why?
I know. And she's a bad liar. It's not even good. Ugh, whatever. But Paris does save the day here. And then Dean leaves. He's like, "Okay."
Wait, but hold on. But one more thing. When Rory knew that Dean was on his way, she said to Jess, "Leave." And he goes, "Why?" She says, and this threw me off, "You know why." Now, if I'm Paris, I would go, "Oh, they're sleeping with each other." Like, they're, or whatever, like, making out with each other. They're teenage version of this, whatever. But
I thought you know why meant because Dean's a jealous person. To Paris's mind. I would have assumed Paris would have thought that. Not that, because Rory does not seem like the kind of girl to have an affair, right? So when she goes, "You know why," it's because this looks bad and Dean is a jealous type.
Yeah, see, and do you think Dean is being the jealous type? I think not.
I think in this episode, he's legit not. There is every reason for Dean to be uncomfortable in this. Because Rory
always been legit.
Rory is acting shadier than she ever has. You know what I mean? Like, Rory's not a shady, shifty, lying type, generally. And like, so she's acting suddenly weird, even if she really doesn't have anything to hide. It looks like she does just by her behavior, And
it turns out he's right. She is hiding. She is lying.
Yep.
And it sucks when you're like, "But I know that you're not, I know that you're a good person. You have good intentions. You love me. You're not a liar, but you are lying right now." And I have to be like, "Well, if you say so, then I have to." He actually says, "If you say so, I have to believe you." And that's it. He does.
Yep. So now Rory knows that she can get away with lying to Dean. And now Paris,
Paris saves the day.
Paris is complicit now. So now, like, she owes Paris. Like Paris said she owed her because she helped her study, but she like just saved her relationship effectively. So like, who owes who more? I don't know.
See, I never understood that either. If I was Rory, I'd be like, "Why'd you even say anything? I was just going to tell him the truth." Like, I was surprised that Rory was like, "Why'd you do that? You saved the day." I thought she was saying, "Why'd you do that? You should stay out of it.
You're complicating shit." Yes.
Yeah. But instead she was like, "Want to have a slumber party since now we're friends, since we just figured out that we're both super cool with lying?" Lying friends.
Yeah. Now we're lying friends. And Paris says, you're not going to freeze my bra. And I flipped out because we have spoken many times
about the bra freezing.
About bra freezing.
I loved it. I was like, oh,
the prank
Carrie
version of this, though, is not on a hot summer day. It's nice to cool off with a nice, refreshing bra. The prank version is you get a bowl of water, put the bra in the bowl, and then freeze the whole bowl. So you can't get the bra out, right? It's frozen
funny.
in a block of ice. Does that?
But it's in the family freezer. That's weird.
It's gross.
And you wake up and your teenager's friend's bra is in the freezer. Oh, okay. You better hope people aren't home tonight. Yuck.
Yeah. But that's also not Rory's style. Also, I still recommend putting a bra in the freezer on a hot summer day to cool off. Sorry, guys.
I do like how excited Paris is to have a slumber party.
I know. It was sweet.
I felt the same way. I'm just like, no, I want to do, all the 10 American teenage thing. I went to the mall. Check.
Right.
I
went to the
skate park. Check.
The concert they went to. Why am I forgetting?
Oh yeah, the Bangles.
The Bangles. I went to a concert. I saw the Bangles. Check.
Yeah.
I went to a party. Paris went to a party.
That's right.
A big
her
fancy
mother made
party.
Her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Paris is teenagering, and now it's a slumber party. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Checking it off the list, like how she knows how to have fun. So Dean leaves, like you said. I guess I get why Dean leaves. Dean actually removes himself from places where he doesn't feel comfortable. When bad things happen, he's like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go be mad not around you. Because there's a vibe here. That vibe is not good. Let's try again next time.
Yeah, more mature.
Yeah, go home, fix the vibe, we're good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He still has a temper, but he does manage to manage himself.
Yeah, he's sometimes able to regulate and sometimes not. It's weird. But that's
in
also...
all fairness, he regulates better than Luke. So, yeah.
And he's a teenager, keep in mind. And he's only been making out.
Cutie pie.
He's a poor teenager. So we get back to the 60-40 bar, and the silver fox who has been checking out Emily comes over. He introduces himself. His name is Chad. There's witty banter.
Yeah, but there's witty banter. Do you notice that Lorelai doesn't even give her mother a chance to speak to this guy who it makes more sense for her to speak to? She just kind of hogs everything.
She's wingmanning.
I know, but
she's being a wingman. But also, Emily is married.
So don't wingman.
Don't wingman so hard, Lorelai.
And she was also so enjoying connecting with you. Emily was sharing secrets about skinny dipping and Thailand adventures.
That's right. She was talking about Thailand adventures, and then this guy comes over, and Lorelai is I don't know, letting the man interrupt their time.
Because it's flattering. Because this is what lets you know that you're hot. So
you still got
Lorelai's huh?
But you can reject a guy and still feel hot. You can be like, oh, thank you so much for coming over. I'm really just going to spend some time with my daughter. And I got better at that as I got older, because I was not good at that when I was 20.
Right.
If a guy gave me attention in a bar, I felt trapped. And as I got older and more mature, I was much easier gracefully to say, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time, but I really came to talk to my friend. Have a great night. And just say it in a friendly way, and then use body language to turn away. So the flattering part has been established. A guy came up to you.
But the more a guy is into you and is asking for you and coercing you, the more he likes you, the more you're worth time, the more that was where we got our worth from. And I think, yes, Emily doesn't know her daughter Lorelai and what she likes and how to connect with her, but Lorelai doesn't know her mom either. How could you not know that this would make an Emily feel weird?
Yeah. Yep.
It was very, very strange.
She didn't grab her and whisper in her ear. I don't know. I feel like I have grabbed a girlfriend at a bar and whispered, get this guy away from me. or something, you know, like you for your wingman, or like, I'm not into this guy, he's creepy, or like some signal. I don't know, but they're not there yet. They don't hang out enough, right? They don't hang out enough, just the two of them, and they don't hang out enough with alcohol and dancing involved, for sure.
And also, Emily is busy being polite, while Lorelai keeps pushing the conversation more and more. Emily's being pretty quiet. I think she's, like, not to use this terminology, but she's pretty innocent here. She's not facing him. She's not leaning in. She's not doing any of the things that gives any indication that she is even flattered by this. She's just accepting what's happening.
She's being polite, right?
Yeah.
So she gets up and
she dances.
She dances, and at first it's a fast dance, and then it's a slow dance, and then he like puts his cheek on her head, like way too much, sir, Chad. And then Emily's like, I have to go, and very dramatically like runs to get her coat from the coat check.
Do you understand this? Like, I understand why she felt icky. Now, she pushed it and she blamed Lorelai, and she says, hookers eat in bars. You pushed me. You let me get 60-40. This is a chop house. I don't eat in chop house. And it's like, Emily, you know, when you feel uncomfortable, you sure love blaming Lorelai. No one, like, this did happen to you. Something did happen. I get it. Nothing too nefarious. Just it was inappropriate, and you removed yourself, and that should be the end of it. But you feel like you fraternized and you are an adulterer and that's all of that stuff. And but in her world, if Richard would walk in and they're cheek to cheek, that's not cool.
Right.
Technically, she crossed a line that evening.
She, even if she feels she did, whatever, but she's very quick to blame Lorelai. She's freaking out. So she's blaming the only person she can in that moment, which is not herself, because she'll never do that. But she's blaming Lorelai. She's like, she feels very out of her element. Lorelai is much more comfortable. And she's out of her element and feels, I mean, I don't think what she did was that egregious, but you're right. If Richard walked in right at that moment, it doesn't look good. And
they have a different agreement. Also, Lorelai only knows singlehood and Emily only knows partnership.
Right.
So Lorelai is comfortable because Lorelai is comfortable flirting, meeting, stepping away, stepping closer. Emily only did that with one person for the last 35, 40 years.
Right. Yeah.
Cheek to cheek is, like she said, cheek to cheek is crossing a boundary when your husband's not there in that way. So, I mean, it's not anything to, like, you know, to lose a relationship over at all. But I think it was good she removed herself from that.
Yes. I don't think she needed to flee the establishment.
No.
You can end a dance and then just go back to your dinner, but okay. To flee the establishment, and I'm there screaming like, nobody paid for those steaks. You know, did they? And you're like, rich people, they just know. And I'm like, how are they getting back to the spa? And you're like, rich people get back to spas. I'm like, all right. So then they get back to the spa, and Emily says the most heartbreaking thing, which I wrote down, which is, why can't we have what you and Rory have? Because that's what she's after. And like, she's trying to force a thing that is not there. And Emily wants that so badly now that she sees that Lorelai has it.
No, she doesn't. Emily does not want that. And Lorelai says it. Rory and I are best friends first and mother and daughter second. First of all, that's not true, but let's let that pass.
Yeah.
Because she adds, you and I are mother and daughter always. And that is the truth. And that's how Emily says, like, I was taught to be your mother. You're the person you look up to. So because of that, I don't get a relationship with my daughter. And to that, I say, no, you don't get the relationship you don't want. I want Vicious Trollop. You don't. That's okay. We have to find our own thing. And you can't just push it and then, like, only do your side of the interaction.
Right. It's not happening organically. And like, both parties have to want it and be on the same page about what they can get along doing.
That's the thing. Both parties don't want it.
Right.
Like, Emily does not want a relationship with her daughter that is friendly. She wants a relationship with her daughter where she is the authority.
Right.
And her daughter dresses like she wants, and she wants a child.
Yeah.
Which is what we were taught to, how to love people by being this overbearing. I know what's right. You probably do, but it's over. Your reigning time is over. Pass the baton.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. And then for some reason, I think that Lorelai's answer to this is really bizarre, which is let's steal the robes.
Yeah, goofy. But it's Lorelai, right?
Yeah.
Let's do the dumbest thing. Let's do something Rory wouldn't even do. And
let's do something ridiculous and out of character for you and like stretch your boundaries and like, I'm going to steal this robe. And like her explanation of it is sort of goofy. And then Emily gets on board. And she's like, what a great idea. I'm putting the robe in my bag. And the whole time I'm screaming, they want you to take the robes. You are not doing something illicit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's have a drink out of the mini bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the robe is a part of the mini bar.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take it, but they are prepared for you to take it.
Yeah, you can also take the shampoo bottles.
Yeah. And you can take the little bottles you can steal a pillow. People do that in hotels. They get the fancy pillow and they just go home with it and they just bill you for it. It's fine.
I never even thought of taking the pillow.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't.
It's
that part.
Gross.
What's that?
It's probably gross.
That's what you don't want people's skin on that. But like,
I don't.
But everything has a line item. People steal towels. I think that's sort of as gross too. Lots of naked bodies have been on those towels. You don't want that.
That you can.
Anyway,
yeah.
So they steal the robes to bond. Whatever. It's fine.
It's still not an organic bond. It's still not good. It's still not what either of them want.
They're still pushing it too far.
Yeah.
We end up at Luke's and Rory and Lorelai are eating too slowly for Sean Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk is there, like, you gonna finish that half piece of bacon? And
so goofy. But he gets a line in like every episode.
Yeah, now it's in his contract. He's got to have one line in every episode.
He just pops up.
Yeah, Suki's not in every episode. Like main characters are not in every episode, but nope.
No, he's just in there. He's the Where's Waldo.
And then Lorelai says, I got to get to the inn, which means she had to work on Saturday. How did she tell Emily she didn't have any plans for the weekend to be able to go to the spa?
But maybe as the person running the inn, she's like, I'll just go in since I'm home, since I had a relaxing time. I don't know.
I guess so. Well, we didn't get, instead of this scene, what I would have rather seen, rather than them like, what? I wanted to see the slumber party.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Rory and Paris like
braid each other's hair.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Or like stay up with flashlights and, and talk to each other.
I think they would just end up debating more books and theories and like all of it.
I wanted to see that. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put glowy stars on the ceiling while you're talking about like, philosophers. It'd be great.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about how from this episode, they would have really wanted the Paris and Jess spinoff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's fun.
So then...
so I think this is the most heartbreaking moment.
What?
Right?
When...
The end.
Yes. So Rory goes up and she thanks Luke for the food. And he goes, what food? And that indicates to us, the viewer, that Luke had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. It was Jess the whole time. And she's like, what does she say to him? I don't know. She's talking to Jess at the register.
She said, you're squirming.
Oh, you're squirming. Right. Because that meant that you wanted to come over. And he's
she
like,
said that.
No, I didn't. And she's like, you're squirming. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like having the super flirty conversation. And then Lorelai leaves and sees Dean, who's looking in the window, watching Rory and Jess have this interaction. And
he's not stupid. And that's the thing. Like, you think, as the person outside looking in at your girlfriend and the guy who clearly wants to take your girl, and they're flirting, and you have to go, am I being a monster? Am I being controlling? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? That sucks. Because I could also, I think I've been in the Rory position too, where it's like, I think I'm just being friends, but like, get real, you know?
I've been in all three of these positions. Believe it or not, I've been in all three of these positions.
Right.
I really have.
Yeah.
In my long life of dating, and like none of them are very good, honestly.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're terrible positions.
Terrible positions.
A terrible way to be.
Icky love triangles. It's awful. It's awful, especially if you have any kind of empathy or soul, which I do not.
Yeah.
But yes, it's terrible because like somebody's going to get hurt.
And I think making it worse, like if this was a nice thing, it would be a Sunday, and if it was a nice thing, then what Lorelai did would be the cherry. But instead, it was the poop on the diaper that's already has throw up. I don't know. It was so Lorelai. I don't know. I know. I'm sorry.
Why is there throw up on the diaper?
I don't know. I went the wrong way. It was
I want
very,
a diaper
very bad.
for throw up.
So disgusting.
What would that even look? It's like a feed bag. A feed bag with like a maxi pad in it.
Speaking of airplanes, it's a barf bag, but you can also poop in it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're right.
But Lorelai goes out there.
Oh my God!
And goes, yeah, up. Man, that's so weird. How Paris and Jess, huh? Who would have thunk it? Now, I ask you this: one of two things are happening. Did Rory tell Lorelai the truth? Or did she tell her the whole story? Because Lorelai doesn't like Jess either. So did she lie to her mother also?
I don't.
Did Lorelai go out there to extra lie to Dean? No, that lie is the total truth.
I think Rory told her mother the whole truth.
Okay.
So that means that Lorelai must know.
I don't know, because when Dean looks in and he goes, yeah, and Rory wouldn't lie, would she? And Lorelai goes, no, she wouldn't. And then she looks over at them and gets it. So did she know the truth?
The truth is not that much worse than the lie that Rory told, or that Paris told, I guess.
But the truth is that he stopped in for food. The truth is that everyone, including Dean, stopped in when she said she wants to be alone. Everybody did that. The not truth, the lie, is that Paris orchestrated this, and Rory didn't want to share it with Dean because she's hiding a lie for Paris. And Jess brought food from Luke's, but Paris was there already to get hooked up with Jess, but Jess just dropped off the food. None of that adds up. So either Lorelai didn't add that up either, and they're both being lied to, standing outside going, Rory didn't lie, or Lorelai knows it doesn't add up and is trying to super make it add up by gaslighting Dean for Rory to double down on the lie and make sure.
I think it's that second one. And I think Lorelai thinks she's like, I'll back up this lie.
Yeah.
But really, you just should have said nothing. Hey, Dean, how's it going? Boop, boop, boop. On my way to the inn. That's it.
Even if there was no lie, even if there was.
Why? Because now you're complicit, Lorelai, you freaking idiot.
Also, why do you have so much stake in this? Like, who cares?
Also, just shut up. Just shut up. They're teenagers.
Shut up altogether.
Let the teenagers teenage each other. God.
Yeah. Ew. If your daughter is no longer into Dean, like, you probably shouldn't care about that.
Yeah.
Not to this degree. I get it. This is like, the guy who helps out. He's the good boy. He's whatever. Like, I get it. Oh, well, if you're not dating him, that's it. She's 17 almost.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Nope. Don't like it.
Yeah,
don't like it.
Poor Dean.
And it ends on Dean looking at Lorelai, I keep doing that. Looking at Jess and Rory, like giggly chit-chatty at the at the register. It's bad news, bears.
Really bad.
Yeah, I don't like a love triangle. No bueno. No.
It happens.
Yeah.
So this is the episode. I think it's a big one, but I think I'm starting to feel that way about all of them.
I mean, if you look too closely at any one episode, it's the pivotal episode or at all. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, a lot of things happened here that I liked. Shall we get into some trivia?
Do me some trivia. Do you have trivia about Chad?
Yeah, I do actually.
Let's hear it. I want to hear all about Chad.
Let's see. So Chad is Hal Linden. He's the actor at the 60/40 Club. So they did a little dance together. He's also a Tony Award winner. So both Kelly Bishop, who's Emily, and Hal Linden, who was Chad, they were dancing. I bet they just had them dance, because they are award-winning.
That's so
musical
cool.
theater. Yeah.
That's fun.
And he's also Hal, the actor, is married to a dancer.
Nice.
He was in a lot of things. I just thought it was really cute. He was in a few things that were girls: Gilmore Girls, Golden Girls, Two Broke Girls.
Nice.
And he won.
He likes the girls.
3 daytime Emmy awards he won.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's got like a really good career.
I got to review who he played in the Golden Girls because I might recognize him, but I didn't recognize him.
It was for a moment. Just like,
right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'd remember, but I also, here's a different thing. So I read in Lauren Graham's book, Lorelai's book. It's called Talking as Fast as I Can. And by the way, that book, Talking as Fast as I Can, I read it as Lorelai, and it reads very well like that. Like I try to read it in the fast pace because she wrote it like she's Lorelai. I guess it is her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she said her assistant is in this episode. So when I looked up what he played, he's not credited. So I had to look a little further, but his name is Gary Riotto, and he played her masseuse at the spa, which I thought was so weird. Because now you're like,
that's your assistant touching your bare shoulders?
Right.
Ew. It's kind of weird.
I thought it was weird too. It was depicted online as like, it was comfortable because that was her assistant. And I'm like, that
makes it less comfortable.
Massage her?
All right.
Oh. But yeah, they're cool with each other. Also, I wonder if he's gay and if they think like, oh, because he's gay, it's comfortable, like one of those things.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, I don't want to touch you either way. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I love how you saw the Yoga Kills t-shirt.
Yes.
So that was the speculation. It could be anything, but people referred to the leg break in the first season. And then my final thing is, the construction guy?
Yes. Who's the construction guy?
Does he look familiar?
Yes, he did, and I couldn't place him.
He was in the other construction episode.
There was
Rebuilding Together, the charity project.
Oh my God, I totally forgot. We had a construction episode. He was the foreman?
Yes.
Oh my God, but he was so much nicer in this episode when he's not dealing with teenagers.
Yeah, I think it's just him. He wasn't really nice. He's just very matter of fact.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's great. Oh, their consistency. Brilliant.
And by the way, Rebuilding Together is an actual real project.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's not just like we can't say Habitat for Humanity?
No.
When did Rebuilding Together begin? I wonder if it was birthed out of Gilmore Girls.
No, it was already there. That's
awesome. Well, shut my mouth.
Do you have any predictions?
I mean, I've been sort of saying them along the way.
Yes.
But now I'm wondering if we're going to have this, like, Paris actually does like Jess. And now we're going to have not a love triangle, but a love quad. And she's going to be, like, Jess likes Rory, but Paris likes Jess. Nobody likes Dean. I mean, Rory likes Dean, but Dean is mad that Jess likes Rory. I think it's going to get messy. I'm wondering if somehow Paris is going to get involved into this romantic mishigas. But think clearly she and Jess have chemistry.
We haven't seen Paris be so chill and like she wasn't on 1,000 around Jess.
Yeah.
Think about everyone she talked to: Luke, Miss Patty, Tristan. Like, she's
she
just
accused Luke of having a seedy underbelly of the town.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, where do you keep the hookers? Like, it was that bad.
And then she falls in love with the seedy underbelly, which is Jess.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, how's that story going? Are they still working on that for the paper?
Well,
nope, they dropped that. Not exciting.
It's an article. We got what we got.
But yeah,
okay.
I think that Emily and Lorelai get over this weekend. I don't think there's any grudges. I think maybe their new inside joke is going to be teehee robes or something, because that's like the criminal thing that they did together. I hope this is finally the beginning of the actual friendship between Rory and Paris. But yeah.
Okay.
Maybe when Luke's expands, he's going to need more employees, and that's when Rory gets her job working at Luke's.
Do you think Jess and Paris will date? I just want it on the record either way.
Yes. I think they do, but I think they do. Yes. Paris and Jess, I think they do date, and I think it inexplicably makes Rory jealous.
Okay.
Even though she didn't have dibs on anybody. But now Paris is around all the time and took the guy that she has a crush on but couldn't admit it. Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right. I just want to, I don't want to interrupt the flow of the genius. And
I am going to remind everyone to hit subscribe.
Yay.
And the best part about subscribing is that you will find out when we do our live shows, which are a lot of fun. And then you can comment to us in real time. And you can listen to the live shows even if you don't watch the show, because we go over very general themes.
Right.
Because we keep the very detailed explanations for the episodic shows.
Yeah, I mean, sense. I think it's a really good gateway into because we've had like Courtney McGuinness and Kenise Mobley and Liz Meal. We've had guests that don't really know the show a little bit, and also guests that don't know the show at all. And so I feel like it's a good general understanding.
Yeah.
That you can walk into.
We just do general themes, like Lorelai comes from money. Is that weird? And then we just bat that around. You know?
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to watch the show to like weigh in on that.
So thanks for subscribing on YouTube. We'll catch you on the live stream, and good night.
We'll see you next time. Bye.